Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in the last video I recorded concerning my website, I made a promise I'm going to continue the video tomorrow. Okay, currently I'm recording the video on 14th and I promised to upload the video on 15th. Okay, but you should understand something, that there are a lot of feature in this application that I can't cover in this tutorial, because otherwise the video tutorial will be very long. Okay, and I'm really thinking of how to go around things. Okay, because the video, the functionality of this particular application is very long. Okay, so there are some features that we are not going to do in this in this app. Okay, for example, the responsiveness of the application, I cannot cover that in the video tutorial. And there are certain things like the map, real-time tracking. Okay, I cannot cover those things in this particular app. Okay, so if you really want the full app, okay, you have to buy from the channel, from my website, which has everything that you really want in the application. Okay, and then you can get my support too when you purchase the application. Okay, so with that said, here we are going to continue. Last time we did a sign up, okay, and then everything was working all right. We did a sign up and then the sign in, it was working. So this time we want to find a way to save the user information in the Firebase. Okay, and then we can retrieve that information and then we can use it. And I want to remind you guys of something, that the application that we are building, you can see that we are not using let me show you something here quick. I think I'll open it from here, pop dev. Okay, normally when you are creating a Firebase application, you have to come here and then you copy this Firebase package, Firebase auth, and then this thing. We are not doing this in this video. Okay, the purpose of this series is to teach you how to use to connect your application to APIs. Okay, so you can have a Node.js API, and then you can connect this application to the Node.js. Okay, so you can see that all that we are doing here, we are not even using any let me show you, we are not using any Firebase thing here. Okay, the only libraries we are using here is the HTTP, which is for the API request, and then we also have the scope model here, okay, which helps us to do state management. Okay, so this is currently what we have. Okay, the packages that we are using. So we are not using any Firebase. People keep on asking me if we are doing it this way. Okay, but this is what we are doing. So we are connecting everything to let me show you the Firebase API. So for example, we use the Firebase API link here, or the URL here, and then we connect our application to it, and then we push it to the database, and everything works fine. Okay, so if you are looking for ways to use these packages, I think you have to look for other videos concerning that. Okay, I've not recorded any video on that, but this series is to purposely teach you how to connect your application to APIs. Okay, and initially we were doing it with PHP, and then people wanted to learn with the Firebase, so I decided, okay, since people want the Firebase, then why don't we use the Firebase API instead of using the Firebase packages. Okay, so enough of that, we can now continue what we are supposed to do today. So today what we are going to do, we have to find a way to save this information, okay, in the in the database. Okay, so when you sign up, okay, Google, okay, someone keeps on some people keep on messing up with my Firebase project. Okay, putting a lot of emails here which I don't even need, and then a lot of data into my database. Okay, by the way, so when you create or when you sign up, okay, using the API or even with the Firebase packages, okay, you still have to find a way to store the user information inside the database, because the authentication, the Firebase authentication will only take in the email and then save it here without pushing any data into the Firebase database. Okay, so to do this, we have to come here and then mimic something here, or maybe try and follow how we are adding the food item inside our Firebase database. So I'll increase this, okay, for now. And then what we will do is we will have to copy this code, because it's similar to adding a user information into the database. So I will copy this, okay, just that the difference is this one is adding food item and we want to add user information. So when I come here, I can okay, when I come here, I can paste the code here, and then we know we want to add user information or something, user info, and then we don't want to pass in the food item, we want to pass in a map. Okay, so looking at this, previously when we add the food item, we pass in the food object, and then we come and convert the food object into a map, which by some other means it doesn't really make sense to do it that way. So I will just remove this and then make it a map here. So we accept a map and we will call it user info here, and then when we do that, we can now forget about converting it to a map, okay, and then easily use it here as user info. Now we know that we are using the Firebase endpoint here. We have to change this endpoint to, let's say, users, or maybe users info. Okay, I'll just put it as users. So this means that when we come into the database here, so when we come into the database here, we have foods, okay, but now when we push, we will have another users endpoint or users node here. Okay, so with this one users, we change it to that, and then we have the response data. So when we push something into the database, okay, we will get a response from Firebase with an ID, okay, and then that ID, we can retrieve that ID using the key as the key, which is name. The key for the ID is name, okay, and then we can use that. Okay, so we don't want to create a food object, but we want to create let me just delete it. We want to create a user with user info, or just user, I think user with ID, something like that. Sorry, user with ID, and we can do this. Okay, and now here we can call the response data here, response data here, and we can have the name here. So response data, I think I made a mistake here. Let me just change it from here, response data. Okay, so with this one we can now pass in the order thing. So you see we have the email here, and then when we pass in the map, we know that the map will contain the email. So here we can also go ahead and create user info, and then we can accept the email. Okay, so I'm also going to do for the rest, first name user info, first name. Okay, so I'm just going to do the rest. I think you get what I'm trying to do here. User info, last name, and what again, so the reason why we are even creating this user object is because, you know, we have a list at the top there. Okay, a list of okay, I've not even created that one anyway, so we will create it, because if you look at the food model, we always have a list here of foods. Okay, so we will do the same for users, so that we can fetch in and then add the object that we are creating here into that list. So that's why this thing is this code is necessary. Okay, so let's just complete that one, and then we have a token. I don't think we even have to save the token, but anyway, let's just do that, and then token for now. We don't really need to save the token, but anyway, user info, and then the user type. So we are doing that, and then we have another one, the username, and then user info and user name. Okay, and then I think so. Here, instead of adding it to foods, we have to quickly create. Let me copy the code here. I don't want to be typing. I'll copy this one and then I'll paste it here. So we will have a list of users instead of food. Okay, users, and we will have to change that one to food, and then we will copy this code to here and then come here. Okay, so we have to paste this one here, and then user. Okay, so this one has to be users underscore, and then here also have to be users, and then we can change here. From here we can do this as users. So we have this, and now when we have when we come here, we can now save it inside users, and then we can say user with ID. So now after pushing this to the database, and then we get the ID from the Firebase, okay, response, we add it to the user object, and then we can save it into that list, and then we can say loading is false because we are done, and then we notify the listeners to refresh the page, and then we can remove this one here. Sorry, and then this one is also okay, this one is okay. We can just remove this comment. So now we have the code for adding the user information. But then when we come here, okay, in the authentication, when someone sign up, that is where we want to add the user information. Okay, so we accepting the email, the password, and we don't even pass in the user name. Okay, so we have this kind of information coming. So we can either change this, okay, and then change this into a map, and then we can now push that information into the add info here, which is also accepting a map. So I think, let me go into the sign up page here. Where's the pages? And then when I come into the sign up here, okay, let me see the on submit. It looks like I can't find the code, but I think it's supposed to be, oh, okay, on submit here. I didn't put an underscore there. So when we are submitting the information, we only send in the email and then the password, so we are not even dealing with the username. So okay, so you know what, for now I'll just push in the email and then the password as it is, and then we can do something else later, because I don't want this video to be long. Okay, so we have this authentication without the email. Let me just add a username for now. So we have to push in the username. So username, yep, and let's see if I'm really accepting the username. I don't know if I'm really, yeah, I'm getting it here. So the username is here, so that's cool. And now I'm passing it to the on submit, which is this here. Okay, when we check from here, okay, so now we have it. Let me just remove this one. So we have the username added to it, so we have to make sure that in the user scope model we are also actually accepting the user the username here. So we have this, okay, accepting the username here, and now this off data is for just signing up, so we don't have to mess up with that, signing up and then the signing in. Now after the signing up here, signing up here. Inside this or if of mode, we are signing up here, so we can now call the add user info method here, and now we have to pass in a map. Okay, and I did a map. Okay, so let me see, we are not even passing the first name and then the last name. I'll comment this one, and then we are not even passing the user type and then the phone number. So so far we only have the email and then the username. Okay, passed in. So I'm just removing that, but you can just comment it, but I'm removing that for now so that I can just pass that information there. So here we can create a new map. Let me just create a new map for you. String and dynamic. Let me just copy this. Let me just copy this and then paste this one here. So here we can say user information, user info, and then we have the email, and then we also need the username. Okay, username here. Okay, username, yep, no underscore. So we have this, and then we don't need this particular information there. So now we have email and then username. We can now pass in the user info here, user info. So after signing up, we call this method, and then this method will now push in the data, which is the email and then the username into the database here. Okay, and then we can now have it inside our database. So let's see, that's it. Okay, so let me save it and come here. Let me just try and sign up. Okay, so I'm going to sign up and then see how this goes. So I'll create another sign up and say something as my username, something B, and then I'll create email as something B at Gmail. Okay, at gmail.com or something, and then create a password as something B. Okay, so when I check, I have this. Okay, so now I'm going to try and sign up and see how it goes. So I'm signing up. Okay, so like I said, someone keeps on posting something into my messing with my database. Okay, look at something here. Someone keeps on messing with this database, so that's why I'm getting the error, because it's been a long time I even tested this code, and previously it wasn't having any error. So someone keeps on messing with this, and I'm not even encouraged to continue the video tutorials on this particular series. But anyway, guys, so you can see that we have the users here, and it created the ID here, and then we have it here. Okay, so we have something at B, and then we have this here. So when we go here, we can also see that it has been signed up somewhere. I think it should be the last. Oh, who keeps on doing this then? I can't even find my own email that I created. Anyway, but we can see that that is working. Okay, and we can also see that we have an error of assertion and all that. It's because of the data that is inside here. The data is incorrect. Okay, or maybe it has some incorrect values which someone posted there. I'll just delete the whole thing. Okay, and we have this. Okay, so I'll just try and go back again, and then open this up again. So guys, I think I'll just leave this tutorial for here. Okay, I think the app is back up. Okay, so let's try and then see if we can sign in with the something B. Okay, something B at Gmail. Let me just something B at Gmail. Okay, and then let's try, and I think is something B. So we have that, and then we can, let's see, So yeah, so I think I was able to sign up with, sign in with that email, and we are also able to store that information inside our Firebase database. So just like the approach, okay, we create this, which will accept a map, and then we have to pass in the information there. So you can continue with the sign up. You can add more information, let's say the first name, the last name, and all that into as part of the sign up, and then you make sure that you pass that as a map here, or maybe as individual variables, and then you can come and create the map here. But I will advise you create a map, a single map here. I think I'll do that in the next video tutorial. And then you have to create a map here, okay, and then use the map, and then distribute the information here instead of trying to create different maps here. Okay, so I'll do that in the next video tutorial, but you can do that on your own, and then you see how it goes. So we also add a callback function, a callback here, so that we can know if this was successful or it failed, and then we can tell the user something. Okay, so I will see you in the next video tutorial. Thank you.